more on this, I'm joined now by Ajeet Khurana, Bitcoin expert and founder of Reflexical. Ajeet, hi, great to have you back on the show. I'm trying to understand whether this is giving any clarity to the industry right now, which is going through a lot of flux. We've had the association for crypto assets be dismantled recently. We don't know whether there'll be a new one. A lot of the policy decisions are beginning to have their impact on volumes trade and the entire crypto buzz. Do you think that what the finance minister has said today in parliament makes it clear that a ban is perhaps still on the table if there's global consensus?
So I think that if there is global consensus, yes, it could be banned. Technology cannot be banned, but the regulation could lead to ban. But there seems to be an impossibility because in most territories, especially the open economies, there is a more conducive environment. So banning is not on the cards in other countries. And actually, I think the clarity now comes in that India will not take a unilateral stand. So I think we are moving away from banning, not towards it.
So what is the impact of this though? In true effect, what is the impact? Because right from the get-go, the Indian government has made two things clear, that the RBI wants crypto ban and they're not rushing into it. This at one point has allowed the whole ecosystem to flourish. Post the budget and that 30% tax, we've seen that dwindling. So what is the current status?
The current status, if we ignore the price movement in the market and focus only on the regulatory aspect, the current status does seem to be a little grim, primarily because the government is in no mood and to give it a thumbs up at any point of time. I think that the right direction here would be that the government ask everybody who is in this place, the exchanges as well as the investors, to disclose their activity in some form of income tax or other filing.
Okay. Going forward, Ajeet, what is the state of affairs as far as these crypto exchanges are concerned? Like you said, the big factor has also been a global meltdown in the prices of cryptos. We know that investors are figuring out what to do next. Are we seeing more and more investors trying to exit and less coming in?
So we seem to be moving sideways over the last 1.5 months. There was a huge crash about 2 months ago. If you look at the world's largest player, namely Coinbase, that has gone down to about 1/4 of its market cap. I think that presently what we are seeing is that exchanges which were expanding very rapidly, now that they're seeing approximately a 90%, mark my words, 90% reduction in revenue, they are going to have to start cutting corners, and that does not sound good to me.
Okay. We are already seeing some impact of that cutting corners. Do you think we're going to see a lot of these companies which may not last going forward?
I think that if they are pure exchange businesses, even with the lowered volumes, since I'm aware of how their economics work, they may be able to survive even prolonged periods of time, such as 2-3 years. However, several of these exchanges started getting into secondary businesses such as borrowing, lending. In fact, lots of the bad news that you are hearing from the likes of Vault and Celsius and whatever else is all coming from their borrowing and lending operations. So those, I think, are not headed for a good time.
The future of crypto still has a sword hanging over it. But Ajit, just one last point. The finance minister speaks about a global consensus. Now, that is nowhere closer to being found today than it was, say, a year ago or even 2 years ago. So really, what does that mean in real terms?
In real terms, if I would try to guess, it looks like a nice fig leaf, which allows the government to not take adverse action, claiming that, hey, you know what, we were ready for it, but the world was not ready for it. Hence, we'd rather go with where the whole world is going, which, by the way, is my recommendation too.
Okay. And where is the whole world going? Right now, everyone is off crypto. There seems to be no rush of new nations to accept payment in cryptos. The basic questions of what is the underlying asset continues. So really, no clarity world over.
So, nobody in crypto really has asked for crypto to become legal tender. It's very interesting that regulators talk about it, but people in crypto are not even making such a demand. What is happening, however, with the MiCA coming in the European Union just about 2 weeks back, is that there is greater regulatory acceptance coming from clarity. I think that regulations, other than being favorable or unfavorable, actually need to be clear. And that is happening all over the world.
All right. Thank you so much, Ajeet Khurana. Pleasure as always to speak with you.